What if I told you it's super easy to create these beautiful graphics directly in Canva using their new AI app, Dreamlab? So what you want to do is click on the home icon up here at the top left, and then select Dreamlab down here at the left-hand sidebar. So these are some previous graphics that I've created in the past right here. And up here under this form field box, this is basically where you want to add your prompt. So a prompt is directions. We're basically describing the type of image we want. I usually use very simple prompts in the beginning. So what I want to create is something similar to these. So I'm going to say watercolor graphic of a woman in her early 30s, stylish, boho, since we have kind of the boho style. And then here you could add any additional traits like wearing sunglasses, long hair, I would say brown hair. And then down here, you have a few different options. So you could actually add an image. So if you add a particular image, it basically references the style of that image. It's kind of interesting. And then if you click on Smart, you could select the style of the actual graphic. And then under aspect ratio, this is basically the shape of the actual graphic itself, what particular dimensions you want the graphic to be in. So since this is a planner, I'm going to select 3:4. You could also select 9:16, but I have more of a portrait size planner. And then I'm going to click Create. So it says use 1 credit. So if you have Canva Pro, you get 500 credits per month. And I usually don't use them all. So it created 4 different types of graphics. So if you like one of them, you could actually click on Edit and it will open a brand new design. And then you could also keep pressing create just to see the additional graphics it produces. So I really like this one. So I'm going to select it and then click edit in design. If you have Canva Pro, you could also remove the background, or in your prompt, you could say white background or no background. So I'm going to click background remover just to remove that watercolor in the background. And then I'm going to open a planner that I created in a previous video. I'm going to duplicate the page. So I just want to remove all of these items. So this way I have a nice blank canvas. I'm going to go back to this image, Command copy or Control copy, or you could right click copy, and then I'm going to paste it in this design. So what you can do is you could add text to your design. So I also want to create these really pretty flowers. So we're going to go back to Dreamlab, and then I'm going to add watercolor flowers, no background, just to see what it produces. Select the aspect ratio, which is 3:4, and then click create. So I want them to be a bit more realistic, like these flowers. Realistic watercolor flowers, tropical. And then I want to put no background because we want to be able to crop them within the planner. These are kind of pretty. And you also want to make sure that they're not cropped up the edges. So we're going to click edit in design, remove background. So I'm going to select the graphic and click BG remover up here. Then I'm going to copy and paste them here. And then we're going to just paste it behind her. I'm going to click position, layers, and then I'm going to click and drag this behind her. So I really like this particular one. So I want to find different variations of this particular graphic. So I'm going to click on the 3 dots when I hover over the graphic, image guidance, and then select a style reference. So it immediately puts it in here. I'm going to copy this particular prompt again by just clicking on the little copy icon, and I paste it directly in this form field. And then I also want to make sure the aspect ratio is 3:4, and then click create. So this one's kind of nice. It's a bit more simple. So I'm going to click edit in design, remove the background, copy, and then paste it in our design. And then we want to put it all the way in the back. So I'm going to select position, layers, click and drag it. So we want to kind of have it frame her. What you could also do is edit the color and maybe change the color. Maybe you want to make the reds a bit more pink or purple. increase the saturation, make it a little brighter. Then we could select the copy style tool and apply the same styles onto the other flower. And I'm also going to change the background. So I'm going to select the actual design over here, and then I'm going to click on background color. It will pull out colors that are on the actual design. So if you want a color that correlates to the graphic, makes it stand out a bit, you can easily change that by just selecting one of the colors that it picks up from the actual illustration. So I'm going to select this darker one since it makes the whole entire illustration pop a bit. And then I'm also going to add an effect to this text bar by selecting the text bar, clicking effects, and then selecting curve. So it gives this really nice arch to kind of frame the design. Just adjust the curve a bit. You could add additional effects like gradient circle. So I want to put a nice gradient circle directly behind her. So I'm going to select the yellow circle directly under graphics and then put it directly behind her. Now that we made this really nice detailed design, I'm actually going to go back to Dreamlab by clicking on the home page, and under the style, we're going to actually select stock photo. And then under aspect ratio, we want to make sure it's 3:4. So let's see what type of image this generates. So I really like the background over here. I think it looks really nice. I'm going to select edit, copy it, and then paste it right here. And just resize the edges so it fits the cover. I'm actually going to flip it horizontally so she's not butting up against the binder rings. Then under position, I'm going to put it behind the binder ring. And then update the background color. It's just a little lighter. So that looks really nice. So I actually want to put more of a faded gradient behind here so you could easily see the title. So I'm going to press R on my keyboard to activate a square. And then under the color, I want to create a gradient. So I'm going to select the color picker. And then I'm going to select this dark first one, dark for the second. And on the second one, I'm actually going to move the gradient all the way down to 0. So we have this really nice gradient look. And then change it to the top. So it looks like the gradient is kind of coming down. So now you could easily see the words. And then you could also kind of reduce it just a bit so it's not as sharp. So now we have two different planner designs using Dreamlab, and let's experiment with some of the different styles. So let's try Moody. So you have this really nice Moody design, and let's try it with Sketch. So Sketch is going to be similar to the watercolor design that we looked up earlier. It's definitely very similar to a lot of the original designs I created for my planner. And then let's try Vibrant. These are definitely more photorealistic images, which are really good if you need stock images. We could try Pop Art. That's kind of cool. So if I select one of these, remove the background, copy it, and then add it to our design. Let's go ahead and change this paper color. So I went in and I used that same prompt and I just tested out different styles just to see the types of graphics that it would produce. And it was kind of interesting. This is kind of cool. So I'm gonna delete this, add the sketch. And then just update the colors around it. So I was able to easily change the covers of just one planner by selecting different styles from Dreamlab. I recommend grabbing PLR planners, take this Canva file, create custom covers based off of this video, and resell them. I also included an Etsy shop kit, so I have all of these Canva files. So if you do want to sell planners on Etsy, you could easily just use this particular Canva kit and you could kind of kickstart your Etsy planner shop. through this kit. I'm also including a few of my top selling ebooks, like launching your product on Etsy. And these are tips that I've learned throughout the years creating Etsy designs, as well as some really good Canva tips. I left this link in the description if you're interested in learning more about it.